what determines your success in this program are two things, okay? Write this down. Number one, you showing up. It seems obvious, but you showing up, okay? There's a lot that we provide in FEMM, and it really is truly designed for you to be successful. And if you don't show up, I can tell you right now, you won't be as successful as you could be. To be clear, I have some clients who don't show up that much and still have a lot of success because they're on the back end, or maybe they have some one-on-one calls and they're not showing up to the group stuff as much, and they're still successful. I can't say you won't be successful, but I still believe even those people that have had success, if they showed up even more, if they attended even more, if they were even more present, and I'm not talking about you just having to invest a ton of time. Sometimes you might jump on a call for 20 minutes, and that 20 minutes, there's something you get in those 20 minutes that completely changes the trajectory of your life. Now that's a big promise, but that's what can happen. I truly believe it. And when I used to volunteer for Tony Robbins, you'd get assigned different roles. You know, sometimes I was the mic runner or the leader of the mic runners, and then I'm in the room a lot, which is like kind of like, oh, this is awesome because I'm volunteering, but I get to be in the room all the time, so I get to soak up all of the Tony stuff while I'm working. And then sometimes I was out of the room doing other things. Maybe I was, running errands or whatever, and I'm like, oh, first I'm like, oh man, like I don't get to be in the room. But what would always happen is that you'd step in the room maybe 10 minutes, maybe you get to be in there an hour, you'd be doing something, and like you look up and I mean, I've been at these events so many times. I've heard all the stories, I've heard all the lessons, all this stuff, not that I remember them all, but it's like I hear this thing and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I never heard that before. It's like you're watching these recordings, even if you've done rap. I don't know how many times you guys have done rap, but you do it again, and you do it again, and you're like, wow, I don't remember Robin saying that, even though it's recorded. Like you're listening to a Tony Robbins CD or something, and you hear this thing for the first time, you swear it's the first time, and you've listened like 5 times before. Okay, that happens because where you are as far as in your business, in your life, sometimes you're ready to hear it. I remember this one time with Susanna, right?
Montecova?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, Susanna. Okay, I just like probably said that wrong. So with Susanna, it was so funny because there was something about sales that in the second FEMM event I was talking to her about, and she writes it down, and I'm like, yeah, write that down, whatever. And then she opened her notebook, and she was like, I wrote that down the last event. I swear, I've never seen that before. And it was like the exact same thing, like she found it in the same notebook a few pages earlier, and she was like, whoa, that's really crazy. So there's a lot of things that will happen like that you start to get the value, at different times. So even if you can't show up to everything, and I know that Pam, you said Tuesdays are really tough for you, so showing up to those calls, maybe, you said listening to the recording, or maybe if you're able to jump on for 10, 15 minutes, you'll happen to hear one thing that makes a big difference, and it's like, oh, I guess, wow, the universe works in mysterious ways that I heard exactly what I needed to hear right now, okay? So it's extremely important that you show up, and this is what I kind of like to draw this little visual here. Okay, so here you are. Can everybody see this okay? Yes? Yes. Okay, good. All right, so here you are. This is you. Oh, that doesn't look like purple, but that's okay. This is you. All right, how many of you would like to have a ton of success in this program? Say yes really loud.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Does anyone not want success in this program? Everyone just like wanted to blow some money, want to hang out with some ladies? Okay. I mean, it's still worth it, but I mean, it'd be fine. Okay, so here you are. So everyone wants this success, all right, up here. Now, I don't think anyone wants to blow money and I'm not going to say failure, but we'll just say, let's just say no ROI, okay? I will move in a second, okay? So you have two options. Basically, there are two paths, right? There's a path to success, and there's a path to you basically kind of staying where you are. It's not like you won't grow at all, even if you just show up a little, but it does happen, okay? To be real, people ask me this, oh, you have such great results, but seriously, aren't there people that don't get results? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. What's the difference between people getting results and not getting results? Two things. Number one, they show up. Second thing is, they're willing to stretch. Okay, write that second one down. You must show up and you must be willing to stretch. I had this one woman who was very, very sweet. She was really good at studying, even before FEMM started, she had access to the rap course. She did all 4 modules. She had a notebook with all these notes and everything, and I was like, nice, She had one-on-one calls, so we got on the call and I said, how are things going? And she said, well, I haven't made any money yet. And I said, okay, well, where are you at with things? Tell me what's going on. And she's like, well, I did the whole course. And I'm like, cool. So module 1 is attract qualified leads. So basically you have your audio logo. How did it go when you went out into the field or out to networking, and what kind of responses did you get? And she's like, oh, I haven't done it yet. And I said, wait, how did you get to module 4 without actually putting it into action? And she's like, well, I just went through the modules. I'm like, that's not what you're supposed to do, girl. Like, you have to do the homework. Part of the homework is you testing it and tweaking it, or actually, you don't even have to do the tweaking. You go and test it, come back to me, tell me what's not working, whether it's on a group wrap call before FEMM starts, whether it's on a FEMM call, whether it's on WhatsApp. Now you guys will have access to WhatsApp. Tell me what didn't work, and then I'll help you tweak it. Then you go test it again. Tell me what didn't work or what did work, and we keep tweaking and testing it. Okay? But what she was doing is she was plugging in. She was showing up. She'd come to every call, but she wouldn't even test it. She wasn't willing to stretch. Okay? So it does take those two components, because if you just show up, but you're not willing to put it into action, you're not stretching outside your comfort zone, then you will stay where you are. Okay? And where you are is typically no ROI. Okay?